Hello everyone, I just finished the prequel to the Witcher series, The Crossroads of Ravens, and I'm going to discuss what I thought about it. So get your beverage and cheers, and let's go ahead and get into it. So let me start off by saying I have not read any of the Witcher series before, so this is a person coming in to this book completely new, other than an idea of what this series and Geralt is all about based on just snippets from the video game and snippets I've seen from the TV adaptation. I haven't watched the TV series either. And then anything else that I've heard around BookTube about the series. Otherwise, I'm coming into this world fresh in the ideas of The Witcher. So I can confirm that you can read this as a standalone. I had no issue knowing very little details about this world. And I think for those who complain about not having enough of Geralt in the book series, I think you'll like this one because it's all Geralt all the time. We're journeying with Geralt throughout this entire standalone book. It is basically the 16 to 17-year-old Geralt as he's a fresh, new Witcher, and a more advanced, more experienced, older Witcher named Preston Holt takes him under his wing and trains him even more until Geralt does go off on his own in this book. And for me, it was very character focused until I realized at the end where the plot threads led to. I think Geralt is the ultimate focus of this book, but there is a little bit of a plot that weaves throughout this book that I didn't understand until we got to the end. Overall, I think this is a slow to medium-paced book. I found that there were many times where it would hit like an action or plot or something that Geralt ran into, and then it would kind of simmer down into being more level of just a journey or adventure type of story. So I got things where I was really interested for a chapter, and then it would go back to being kind of that back to Geralt on his own, and he's trying to deal with traveling from city to city. So if you want something that's more like fast-paced and constant action, you're not going to get that with this. There are great action and battle sequences and stuff that don't last for more than maybe like a page for those who don't enjoy long battle sequences. And you do get a few monsters that Geralt has to vanquish in this, although it's not a constant thing that he deals with in this book. You have different moments of Geralt having to deal with monsters, but then there's also him having to deal with human beings and the politics of the world as well. And this book made me interested in figuring out if some of the characters mentioned in this carry on to the rest of the series. So that's an interesting take that I think maybe people who have read the series might find little Easter eggs or characters that they know that appeared earlier in Geralt's life as a Witcher. And this book has made me interested to see what the rest of the series is like, but also I'm not sure because some of the content for those books and also for the game that I'm not sure that I want to get into. But as far as content for this book as well, I had no issue with anything that was in this. There's violence, of course, because he's a Witcher and he has to kill things, and And because he's a witcher, people don't exactly accept him in the society. So you're gonna get some confrontation. But I think that's really the only content-wise that you're gonna have a little bit of battles and slight gore. I don't think it's like grimdark level of explanation for the gore. But for me, I was perfectly okay reading this book. If you're worried about any of the content because of what you've heard about the Witcher series, I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars based on it did take me a little bit to get through it. I wasn't really seeing where the plot was going, like I said, until the end when everything tied together. And I understood the threads that were being weaved throughout this book. So it's definitely one that I'll want to reread eventually, knowing where all the threads end up. And I think for those who really enjoy The Witcher and also just having Geralt be the prominent character of the story, I think you're gonna enjoy this more than me, who's not really familiar with him as a character. But it was an enjoyable book, and I really did enjoy that we got a mix of both politics and monster fighting and people fighting. So I definitely recommend checking this one out, especially if you're a Witcher fan, or if you have thought about getting into The Witcher but not really sure you want to read the full series. I think this book would be a good place to start if you're kind of daunted by the series of books. So let me know if you plan on checking this book out. If you've already checked this book out, let me know what you thought of it in the comments. And if you click the subscribe button, I can see everyone in the next video. Thanks for watching.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster.